Hi Stacy, this is Lee. So I got your file, and there are basically two reasons why this union isn't working the way you want it to. First of all, is if I click on this and look down here, I can see that that says it's a group of two objects, and a lot of the operations in Inkscape won't work on groups, so you have to ungroup. And sometimes things are grouped more than once, depends on how they were made. So if I just go to Object, Ungroup, which also the keyboard shortcut is Shift Control G. Okay, so now I look down here and it says now there's two objects selected, Path, Group. So I'm going to ungroup again, and I'm going to do this keyboard shortcut of Shift Control G. And I'll look again, it's still got a group, so I'll ungroup again. Okay, now it says there's four objects selected, types path and rectangle. All right, so that tells me that this one right here is still a rectangle. And what that means, if I double click on it, it has these special, they're not really nodes. Like if I draw a rectangle like this, okay, when I first draw it, it's a special Inkscape um, rectangle, and I can still do some things to it like curve the corners, that sort of thing. Once I convert this to a path, object to path, and then click, now you can see it's a different type of object. Now it's just got four corner nodes, and they don't, if I move those nodes, they just move. It's not any sort of special square thing anymore. All right. So your rectangle here is still a rectangle. I could pull on this little circle and give it a curved side. I can do Control Z to undo that. So the first thing I want to do is convert this to a path. So I go Path, Object to Path. Okay, now you can see it's a regular path, and I can't do those special square things to it anymore. All right, so then the second thing, the first thing was that things were grouped, and then your rectangle was still a rectangle, but right now it's just a stroke. If I double click on it, I can see the nodes. And as far as design space is concerned, what these nodes are telling design space to do is put the blade right here, put it down, cut, make a right turn, cut, make a right turn, and cut. So that's just going to cut out a square. Design space doesn't know how to interpret the thickness of this stroke or the outline. It just reads that as cut a single square out. So what we need to do is get Inkscape to convert this stroke or convert the outline into a path. And the way you do that is you go path, stroke to path. Now you can see it has changed. The nodes now, it will tell design space to do this. Bring the blade here, put it down, cut, make a right turn, cut, make a right turn, cut, make a right turn, cut. Pick the blade up, go to this spot, put it down, and cut to here, to here, to here, to here. So it's going to cut two rectangles basically, an outside rectangle and an inside rectangle. All right. So now that you have done that, you've converted that path, that stroke into a path, and you've ungrouped everything. Now we can just click on the selection tool, click and drag to select all of this, and now you can do path union. Path union. It's unioned all together now. If I double click on the nodes, you can see, whoops, didn't mean to open that. So now it'll cut the outside just as a square, and then it'll cut the inside, and it'll get to this node and change direction and come down and cut the broom handle, and then go back up and cut. Okay, and then I don't know if you're cutting this out of paper, but if you are, you might want to consider connecting this part of the handle to this, because this little piece right here will be floating in space, but if you're doing vinyl, then that doesn't matter. Okay, and now just to check, if I change the color on this, it's all together. It's all one thing. All right, so there you go. Just to review, ungroup, and then change your stroke to a path, and then union. All right, let me know if you have any more questions.